Okay, good morning to all of you. Myself, Dr. Varun Narayan Mishra. Today, I am going to discuss about SQL parsing. In the previous classes, we have discussed about SQL processing, different commands, different facilities provided by SQL. SQL is basically a structured query language that is used to process some query that is used to retrieve some information from our database. But how it works and what are the processes behind this kind of query from our database, so that can be understood by SQL parsing. SQL parsing tells us the process, the way in which our SQL work to retrieve the information from the database. Okay, so this is an example. Means there are two tables. As we know that all our database management system is based on some relational tables, relational database. Okay, so for an example, this is a table R and table S. Okay, and we are going to have some query. We are going to retrieve some information like someone have asked you that select BCY, means select the column BCY from the table R and S, and from where this is a condition, and from where maybe two or different conditions. So how it works? Okay, if we have a table, if we have a relational database table and all the tables having some data sets, and if we are going to query something from our table, so how it works? Okay, so we just give some command and it retrieves the information from the table, and answer is that R8K. But how it works and what are the processes behind this kind of processing? So this can be understood is using SQL query language. So all the queries, whatever the queries we use to apply on the database, any information we want from our database, there are some processes, there are some methods behind this. So in this way, this query can be executed from our database. Okay, so this is a simple example. Means you have two tables R and S, and out of two tables we have some query, and our answer is that written here BCYR8K. Oh, so okay, but how it extracted from this table? This is studied. This can be understand by analyzing or by studying the structured query language parsing, or we short we call it as a SQL parsing. Okay, so SQL processing or query processors, they must find a plan how to execute the query. When we ask for some query, when we ask for some data from our database, so the query processor find a path, it find a plan so that that query can be executed. Okay, so in the first step we have some query like this is SQL query, then it go for the Pares. Okay, Pares tree, it convert the entire query into digital query plans. Okay, whatever the query we are looking for, it will be converted into digital query plan, or we can say the logical query plan. In short, we call it as a LQPs. After converting the query into logical query plans, it applies some laws, it applies some rules to improve the query plan. Okay, then it estimates the results. After applying the logical query, it estimated some results on the basis of queries whatever we have asked for that database. Okay, after estimating the result, it will consider the physical plans, that is known as physical query plan. In short, we call it as a PQP. Okay, after that it will go for the estimation of the cost. What is the cost of that estimation? And out of entire plans, out of multiple choices, it selects the best pick, it selects the best option out of entire plan. Then we will have our answer after executing some command, some query. Okay, so this is the entire flow chart in which our query processor works to find out the resulted query from our database. So here it is very important to note that, okay, when we have executed the query, it might be wise to give statistics back to the LQP and rewrite the components or components estimating the size to perform later operations like join in a cost effective order. Suppose you have not find out the satisfactory answer, you have not find out the good result. So again, it will be executed by having some results that will be applied by logical query plan. Okay, it will only stop when you will have satisfactory answer or when you will have the right answer. This is the recursive processing. This is the continuous cyclic process, and it will work until we will have the satisfactory answer from our database. So structured query language is used the term that is known as query processors. Query processors are the term. It's a, you can say, the processing or mechanism that is used to retrieve some information, that is used to query some answer, some question from our database. It is known as query processors. So whatever the query we are asking from our database, whatever the query we are looking for, it depends on the processor in our database. It depends on the system of our database. Okay, now moving to the next slide. So this is the entire flow chart of parsing. Parsing means, in simple term, we can define the parsing when we distribute our query into different components. Okay, we have some query, then we have some answer. This is the entire mechanism. But in between the query and answer, there are multiple steps, there are multiple stages. So the conversion of the entire mechanism into their constituent steps, the distribution of the entire mechanism into different parts is known as parsing. Parsing is means the distribution of the entire mechanism into different parts. Okay, it doesn't directly go for the result. Whatever the query we have, it directly show you the results, but before showing the result, it follow different steps, it follow different processes in between. That is known as parsing. So here you can say, first is parse, then it will be converted into some logical operators, logical queries, then we apply some laws. After applying the laws, it will estimate the desired result, the result size. After considering the physical implementation of the results, it will estimate the cost of our query. And we may have multiple choices, we may have multiple plans to get the result. So it selects the best possible plan out of all the available plans, and then it will execute and we will have the answer. So this is the entire mechanism of the query processing. Okay, so this query processing will be known as parsing. Okay, so in next slide we will see what is parsing. So parsing is the way of the parser is to take a query written in the language like SQL and convert it into the parse tree. Whatever the query we are having that is written in the language like SQL, it will convert into parse trees. In a parse tree means when we convert the entire process into different components. So each component is known as parse tree. Each step is known as parse tree. In a parse tree, each node is either atom or syntactic categories. Atoms is a lexical element such as keywords. We have to provide some keywords, we have to provide some names, we have to provide some constants or parentheses or operators. Without having any keyword, without having any operator, we cannot go for the processing. And second part is that syntactic categories. Syntactic categories includes the name of the query subparts that is represented by triangular brackets around the descriptors. Okay, so in the next slide we will see how it works. Okay, here just you need to understand that parsing is a type of processing. It's a query processing that works on the query written in the SQL language that will be converted into different components. That components, each and every component is known as parse tree. Okay, now moving to the next slide. Okay, but what happens if we don't have proper query? Okay, so there are many things, there are many factors that are responsible for badly performed query. Whatever the query we are performing, whatever the solution we want from our database, it may be affected by different factors. Okay, so there may be poor query design causing the query to run slowly. If your database structure is poorly designed, if your query is not properly maintained, so you will have the slow processing of your query. Okay, so the construction, the designing of your database structure, whatever the query you are asking for, it depends on the database processing speed. Okay, if you are having poor structured database, if you are having poor quality query, then it will cause the slow processing of your query. So there could be an issue with the underlying hardware such as CPU or IO, which is bringing the performance of the query down. And also the hardware, the quality of the hardware, the configuration of the hardware of your system, of your computer or laptop, they also affect your query processing. They also affect the performance of your query processing. Third one is there could be the tell statistics or missing indexes on the important columns. Okay, sometimes your database is having some missing information. Sometimes your database may have some data sets which is not there in your table, so they could also responsible for the badly performed query. So whatever the query we are asking for, whatever the query we are going to retrieve from our database, they have different factors responsible for. First one is the your database structure should be very good. It should not be poorly designed database structure. It should not be poorly structured database. Okay, then you have good quality hardware. Your configuration should be very good. Okay, because if your CPU, okay, central processing unit, if your CPU is having very poor configuration, it is not having proper RAM, proper storage, proper processing speed, then it will affect the performance of your query. And third one is the missing details. If your database is having some missing details, if you are not having the entire database in a proper manner, then it will also affect your query processing. So query is a multi-way processing. Query is a multi-way analysis of your database that is dependent on various factors: designing of your database, structure of your database, hardware requirements are there, and your statistics, your data sets should not have any missing values or not having any missing information. Okay. Okay, so in short, we call that we can say that there is not just one reason that a query can be performing poorly. There may be multiple factors. Okay, so before performing any query, before going for any query from our database, we need to have these. We need to rectify these errors caused by the hardware or software or missing data. Now we cannot tune everything in just one go, but we can certainly look for one thing that would surely bring the performance of query down, that is known as parsing of the query. But sometimes it is not possible to do, or it is not possible to have all the satisfactory hardware, all the satisfactory software or any other requirements for the best performing query. In that case, we need to have some tools, we need to perform some techniques that is known as parsing. If you are having good quality hardware, good quality software, your database is accurately designed, accurately structured, then it is okay. But if you are facing some problem in any of the aspect, then we can have some you can say the performance based query operation that is known as parsing of the query. Okay, so this is the way in which we can improve the performance of our query. If you are not able to find out, if you are not able to tune all the problems caused by the hardware software, then we can go for the technique, then we can go for the processing that is known as query parsing or parsing of the query. Okay, now moving to the next slide. So what is the definition of parsing when we are talking about SQL? Okay, what is the definition of parsing in SQL? So SQL statement, whatever the SQL statement, like whatever we have discussed in the last classes, means for query we need to have some syntax, we need to write some sentence. Based on that syntax, it performs the query and retrieves the information from our database. So whatever the statement we are going to write in SQL is comprised of various inputs, like different tables maybe there may be different functions, there may be different expressions. Thus it is possible that there are multiple ways to execute one query. Okay, we may have different functions may, you can have update, delete. Okay, you can have multiple kinds of expressions, you can have multiple kinds of conditional operators, logical operators, all can be used to write a syntax in SQL or structured query language. Okay, so whatever the syntax or whatever the statement we are going to write using SQL having various inputs. So it is possible that there may be multiple ways to execute a query. So the query must run in the most optimal way. Okay, there may be multiple options when we are going for some query. So the query must run in the most optimal way in order to execute in the shortest possible time. Whatever the query is taking minimum time is will be considered as the optimal way to execute that query. Okay, so parsing may be done in different ways. Parsing may be done in multiple ways. So out of all the multiple methods, out of all the multiple ways, we need to select the most optimal parsing that needs very short time, means that are using very short time to process that query. So parsing of a query is the process by which the decision making is done for a given query and calculates how many different ways there are in which the query can run. Every query must be parsed at least once. Okay, parsing is just a kind of query, but here in this type of parsing we may have multiple ways to perform our query. We may have multiple ways to retrieve the information. So out of entire possible ways of the query processing, we need to select most optimal query, query processing way, query processing method, that is known as parsing of a query. Okay, so it is very important for the any decision making. It is very important to calculate different ways of query processing. It is very important to run at least each query at a time. Okay, you should have at least each query per time to get the parsing, otherwise it will not work. So structured query language follows some methodology, follows some methods to evaluate the executed statement in terms of syntax. Whatever the syntax we write, it affects our query, it affects our structured query language. So we should write the correct sentence, we should write effective sentence so that it will be executed very easily. Okay, so is SQL having multiple methodologies, SQL having different methodologies to evaluate the quality of the syntax or to evaluate the accuracy of the syntax. And also SQL is used to validate the objects that is being referred and write to the user. Apart from this, SQL also checks the identical statement that may have been fired. Okay, if you have written same statement multiple times, if you have written same syntax multiple times, so SQL also checks the similar statements, and out of all the similar statements, it will keep only one statement and removes the other statements with the intention of reducing the processing overhead. Okay, because if you are processing multiple kind of same statements, multiple statements that is having same kind of syntax, that will also affect the processing of your query. Okay, so SQL identifies the statement that are having the same syntax, they are having identical syntax, so that your processing will be improved and it reduces the processing time. Okay, all this take place in a fraction of a second, even less. Okay, without the user knowing what is happening to the statement that was fired. This process is known as parsing. When we run the SQL, when we run any query, so all entire process of SQL parsing will be done in a fraction of second. It's a very fast processing way in which it selects the most optimal way of different SQL queries, and it reduces the, or it deletes the identical statements. Okay, so this all done in a fast manner, so the user cannot know what is happening for that query behind the processing of that SQL, without the without behind the processing of that query. So this kind of process is known as parsing. We will only have the output, but between input and output there are multiple ways, there are multiple processing steps, there are multiple times they are having some kind of processing, some kind of execution of the results. This can be done in a second, in a fraction of second. Okay, so the we are having only the output that are having the most optimal solution. Okay, and all other statements, all other possible solutions will be fired during the processing of that query. Okay, so SQL processing work, SQL, when we go for SQL processing or when we go for query processing, it may have multiple steps. There are multiple steps involved from the moment query is written and submitted by the user to the point of its execution and the result. Okay, starting from the writing of a syntax, then it will be submitted to the SQL, then the during its execution, and finally when we get the result. During this process, we will have multiple steps, we will have several processing steps involved. First one is that a client side cursor is opened. Okay, second step, the client server processes, that is search for a shareable cursor on the several side within the SGA shared pool memory structure. In third step, if the search results a reusable cursor, it marks as a hit, and the next step would be to execute the cursor. Now it is very important to know the cursor. What is cursor? Okay, cursor is very important part in query processing. I will discuss in the next slide what is cursor and what is the use of this cursor. Okay, in the fourth step, if the cursor is not found, okay, cursor is a kind of program. It's not a cursor whatever you heard about the cursor for using the mouse. Okay, it is different. This cursor is a kind of program, it's kind of code, okay, that is used during the query processing. So if the cursor is not found, then it marked as a miss, and now a new cursor area is allocated, and the parsing for this new cursor would commence. Now in the fifth step, once the parsing of the cursor is over, the bind variables, different kinds of variables whatever used by the user, are replaced with the actual values applied for them. Then in the seventh step, then in the sixth step, the query may be chosen to use the parallelism if we are using more than one processes to execute it. Now one of the execution of the query is completed, which results in getting the required data for the given statement. And finally, once the data is fetched, the cursor is closed. So this is the entire processing of the query. Okay, starting from the writing of syntax, starting from the writing of some code for SQL, then we submit it to the program, then it will be executed, and finally we will get the results. During this process, there are 8 steps involved in that query processing. Okay, so this is the way in which we write a syntax. Syntax means you can say it's a kind of code, or it's a kind of statement whatever we have written for some specific query. Okay, so here for writing any query we have to use this less than or arrow than, less than or greater than symbol. Okay, then we use some queries like a complete grammar will also consist operations. We can also insert different operations, union, join. Okay, the second rule is typically used in subqueries. Select from, if you want to select some value from a table, then you need to write the syntax in this way. Here the syntax is written here. Okay, select from where, in short we call it as a SFW. SFW is equal to, okay, select the select list from the table name and where the condition. Okay, the complete grammar must include the group by having order by. Okay, the select list may have different attributes in a table having different attributes. Different attributes means we have different data sets. So what kind of data sets you want to select from that table, you need to define that attribute. Out of 8 or 9 columns, you need to define what kind of data sets from which column this they are looking for. Okay, in this way we can have the way, or we can write the syntax, we can write the statement for different query operations using simple grammar rules whatever we use in our daily life for writing any statement in our word file. Okay, this is another example how to write the condition. If you want to insert some condition in your query, less than or greater than, select the value equal to this or less than this. So this kind of conditional operations is possible in SQL. For that, you can write these conditions in this way: condition is equal to condition and condition. You can join, you can have multiple conditions at a time by using AND operator. If we use AND operator, we can run multiple conditions at a time. Okay, a complete grammar must include the operators and, or, not. These are the operators that can be used in the SQL processing, that can be used any query processing, and all other comparison operators can also be done. Tuple, as we know that tuple is the number of rows in a table. Okay, so tuple can also be used to perform some query, and it will be used as a complete grammar that must include the tuple of several attributes. Okay, so the basic syntactic categories: relation, attribute, the pattern does not have a rule but are replaced by a name or a quoted string. Okay, now moving to the next slide. So this is a simple way, one of the most simplest example of a syntax that is used in SQL. Select title means select from which table, from stars in, where star name in, select name, movie name, and the birth date. So this is the way we can write any syntax, we can write any code for any kind of query using structured query language, and that can be done, that can be used for query parsing or query processing. Okay, now moving to the next slide. So what is preprocessor? Okay, when we write a syntax or when we write a code or any statement for query operation, so the preprocessor is a program, it's, you can say it's a inbuilt program of system that checks whether the query is semantically correct or not. Whatever the queries you have written, whatever the syntax you have written, whether you have written it correctly or not. Okay, that can be checked by preprocessor. Okay, if there is a error in your statement, if there is error in your syntax, then it will tell you this kind of error is there, so you can rectify that error and you can again run the query. So for example, relations, every relation in the from must be a relation or view in the schema on which the query is executed. So you have to first see the what kind of relationship in that table. If it is a view, it must again be replaced by a new phrase tree. Attributes, every attribute must be a part of one of the relations in the current scope of the query. And third one is the type. What kind of attribute you are looking for, what is the uh, characteristics of that attribute, whether it is a text, whether it is a number, whether it is a string, whatever type is there. So relation, attribute, and type, these three are important parameters that will be checked by the preprocessor for writing any syntax in SQL. If you are looking for numerics, if you are looking for numeric related query and you have written the syntax in the text, so it will show you the error. Okay, so what kind of data sets you are looking for, what is the characteristics of your database, that will be incorporated during the processing or during writing, during the creation, during the production of that query, that syntax. If the query passes the test from the preprocessor, it is called as valid. Whatever the syntax you have written, it will be checked by the preprocessor. If it is written in a good, correct way, it is having all the relations, attributes, and types in a proper manner, in a proper way, then it will be passed from the preprocessor. Then it will be passed by the test done by the preprocessor, and it is known as valid. Now this valid query will be sent to the logical query plan for getting the result. Okay, that is known as logical query plan. Whatever the syntax we write, if it is found correct by checking with preprocessor, then it will be sent to the logical query plan that is known as SQL generator. Okay, this is the same way logical query operation will be worked as the same way, that is known as parsing. Parse, then convert, then apply different methods, different laws, then it will estimate the results, and it will consider the physical implementation of the results, and it will estimate the cost. And out of all the available methods, out of all the available options, all the available results, it will select the best result, and then it will be executed to find out the final result. So this is the way in which logical query plan generation or logical query plan operation will work for database management system, or you can say the structured query language. Okay, so these are the steps in SQL parsing. The parsing of a query is performed within the database, whatever you are using to optimize the components. Okay, the optimizer evaluates many different attributes of the given query, that is number of tables. It is already discussed in the previous slides, the number of tables involved, whether index is available or not, and kind of expressions involved. Taking all these inputs, the optimizer decides the best possible way to execute the query. This information is stored within the system global area SGA in the library cache. Library cache is very important when we are talking about SQL parsing. Whatever the query you are running, whatever the query you are looking for, it will be saved, it will be stored within the system global area, that is known as library cache. It is a sub pool within the shared pool. Now we will see what is cache, what is cursor, and how it will be used in SQL processing. Okay, so we have already in the previous slides we have seen a word cursor. Okay, so cursor is a queries processing information that can be found in the library cache. Cache is a temporary memory. You have heard this word cache. Okay, cache is a temporary memory that will be stored in your computers. So a queries processing information, whatever the processing, whatever the query you are looking for, it can be found in the library cache and may not be found. Okay, when you run a query, when you run a processing of or any retrieval of any information from a database, the entire processing information will be saved as a temporary memory in the temporary memory of your computer, that is known as library cache. Entire process of your query, entire processing of your database will be found, will be stored in the form of temporary memory in the library cache, and it may not, sometimes it may not be found. Okay, the memory area within the library cache in which the information about the query is kept is called the cursor. Okay, so cursor is a kind of temporary memory area that will contain, that will store the entire processing information. It will be there for a limited period of time. After that it will be removed, it will be vanished from it, that temporary memory. As we know that cache is a temporary memory, so it will be available only for few hours, or it may be available for few seconds or few minutes. After that it will be removed from that library, it will be removed from that temporary memory, or that temporary memory is known as cache. That is the cursor. This term is different from the cursor whatever you have heard by using the mouse. Okay, mouse is also having a this, this is a cursor. You have heard the word cursor, keep the cursor to write anything in the word, or cursor is important when you are using a mouse. But that cursor is different, and this cursor is different term. This cursor is simply the area, or the, you can say, the memory area of your computer within the library cache in which the entire information of the query processing will be stored in a temporary manner, that is known as cursor. Okay, now moving to the next slide. So it is important to know how many types of parsing is there. Parsing may be of two types: soft parsing and hard parsing. Okay, if a reusable cursor is found within the library, it's just a matter of picking it up and using it to execute the statement. This is called soft parsing. Okay, if you found the temporary memory, if you found the temporary information about your query processing in the library cache, so this kind of parsing is known as soft parsing, because this kind of processing uses the information stored in the temporary memory or library cache. Okay, and hard parsing is that if it's not possible to find out the reusable cursor, or if the query has never been executed before, query optimization is required. This is called the hard parsing. Okay, if you have previously applied some query and their temporary information, their temporary memory is stored in the library cache, then this kind of parsing is known as soft parsing. If it is not found, so you have to run it again. you have to run that processing of query, you have to run that query processing again to execute the result, to find out the result. Okay, this kind of parsing is known as hard parsing. So soft parsing and hard parsing, these are the two kinds of parsing, and mostly we use soft parsing because in most of the cases we can easily find the temporary memory of the processing information in the library cache. Okay, but in some cases, in some exceptional cases, if it is not possible to find out the temporary information of the processing information, temporary information of the query processing, then it will be needed to apply the hard parsing, that is requiring any kind of optimization, that is required the optimization before the execution of that syntax or before the execution of that query. So soft parsing and hard parsing, these are the two kinds of parsing. That is very important to understand that these two kinds of parsing are directly related to the temporary memory available in the system. If your processing information is available in your library cache or temporary memory of your computer, then it will be considered as soft parsing. Otherwise, it will be considered as the hard parsing. Okay, so hard parsing means that either the cursor was not found in the library or it was found but was invalid. Okay, soft parsing is okay when we have found some information about the query in the temporary memory, then it is okay, then it is easy to run that processing, that it is easy to run that query. But if it is not possible to find out the temporary memory of our information of the query or query processing steps in our system, then we can go for hard parsing. So hard parsing means that either the cursor was not found in the library or it was found but was invalid. Okay, so hard parsing would mean that work needs to be done by the optimizer to ensure the most optimal execution plan for the query. Now we need to do it again by optimizing the result, by optimizing the result to ensure the most optimal execution plan for the query. Okay, so this is the hard parsing. So how hard parsing works, the optimizer does it by looking into every possible input given to it by the user, including the presence or absence of any indexes, the expression or functions that is applied to that column, that is applied to the database management system, that is applied to that uh, structured database, whether it's a join query or not. And all of the information is of very great importance, and presence or absence of any such input can change the execution plan. And before the process of the finding the best plan is started for the query, there are some tasks that are completed. These tasks are repeatedly executed even if the same query executed in the same session for n number of times. So it's you can see here the hard parsing is little bit different in respect to the soft parsing. Soft parsing is okay, it will be done in a quick manner, it will be done in a efficient manner, very fastly, very quickly, because the previous information is available in the temporary memory of our computer. But in case of hard parsing, you need to run it again, you need to apply different indexes, you need to apply different expressions and functions to the columns or the database in your database management system. Then you have to check whether it is executed in a proper manner or not. Okay, if it is not executed in a proper manner, then you have to repeat it again. And if the same query executed in the same expression, then you can apply it for different n number of times. Okay, because parsing looks for the most optimal way, most suitable result. Okay, if we are not finding the most suitable result by running the query, by running different functions and expressions, then you need to run it for n number of times. So that is a hard parsing. In this way, hard parsing can work. It can be done using these three steps. Okay, so during the hard parsing process, we need to check the syntax, whether we have written the syntax in a good manner, whether our syntax is rightly written or not. Then we need to check the semantics and hashing the query text and generating a hash key value pair. So In the hard parsing, we need to also check the syntax, whether it is written in a correct manner or not. We have to check the semantics, and also having the query text and generating the hash key value pair. Okay. Now moving to the next slide here. So how we can go for the syntax check before performing any query? If we have written a syntax, if we have written a you can say the statement for some query, for some you can say the information that can be retrieved from the database. So before performing any kind of query, it's very important to check the syntax in that query will be written, is written corrected or not. It must be correctly written, otherwise your query will not work. This SQL will not work properly. So this can be done by syntax check. The checking of the syntax is very important. Whatever the statement you have written, it's like you check the grammar of any syntax written in your Word file, in your text file. In the same way, whatever the syntax, whatever the query we have written for performing that query, okay, so you need to check the syntax, you need to check the statement, whatever you have written, whether it is correct or not. If it is correct, then your processing will be, your query will be run accurately, and you will get the desired result. If it is not possible to find the best possible way to execute the query, then it can't be executed in the starting due to missing keywords or syntax. Okay. If we have not written the syntax in a proper manner, if we have incorrectly written the syntax, then it will not work. Then you cannot execute that query, you cannot execute that processing of the query. Okay. And so that it will be checked, it is required to check before running any query for any kind of database, or any kind of, you can say, the structured query or structured database available for your query and operations. Now, so how the syntax check works? So first, it's the database checks whether the query is written with the correct syntax or not, and also whether the user executing the query has the proper permissions for the underlying objects. If either of those two checks are failed, the process of query execution is terminated. Okay. If you have not written the syntax in a proper manner, if you have not correctly written the syntax, then it will be not possible to execute your query. Okay. And you should also have the proper permission to run the query. Okay. If that database should be accessible to you. If you are not able to access the database, if you have not permission, if you are not authorized to use that database, to access that database, so your query will not work and your syntax will not work. Okay. So before running any query on the database, make sure that you have the proper permission, you have the access, you have the authority to access that database. Okay. The syntax is checked by comparing the entire text of the query against the supported keyword for the version of the database currently in the use. So if you have written the keywords which is not in the database, so the query will not work, your syntax will not work. Whatever the syntax you have written, it should have some keywords, it should have some data types, it should have some data, you can say the data structure or data information. Okay. But when this cannot be find out in the database currently whatever you are using, so your syntax will not work and your query will not work. So syntax check includes whether you are having proper permission, whether you are having access to that database. Okay. And if you are having the supported keywords that are available in the database also, then you can able to run that syntax to get the query, required query or result. Okay. So this is the way in which we check the syntax of the written statement. We can check the written syntax or statement by using some programs, by using some codes. Okay. Okay. If you are not if you have not written it in proper manner, if it is incorrectly written, then you can have this kind of error. ORA 00923 means the keyword is missing. Whatever the keywords you have used in your syntax, it is not present in the database. Suppose you are looking for date of birth of a student, and date of birth of a student is not available in that database, so it cannot work. So whatever the keywords, whatever the data you are looking for, it should be present, it should be available in the uh, database table from which you are going to retrieve your information, from which you are going to run the query. Okay, if there is a missing keywords, if there are missing database, and then it will show this kind of error. So this kind of error is known as ORA 00923. If you are finding this kind of error, it means the keywords are not missing, keywords are not found, the keywords are missing in your database. Semantics check. The semantics check is used to confirm that the correct object name is used and also whether the user has the proper rights to execute the query. Okay, if you are not having the proper rights and if you have not used the correct object name, then your query will not work. So if this is not the case, the statement execution is aborted with the error this ORA 00942. So here ORA 00923. If you are finding, if you are having this kind of error message, it means from keywords are not found where expected. Means the keywords whatever you have written in your syntax is not present, is not available in the database. If you are finding this kind of error ORA 00942, it means table or view does not exist. If that database is not present, if that kind of table is not available, not exist in the database management system database, then you will find this kind of ORA. Suppose if you are looking for table 5, but table 5 is not in your database, so you can have this kind of error ORA 00942. Means you are looking for table 5, but table 5 is not present in your database. Table 5 is not available in your database, so you will have this kind of error. It is known as ORA. So to check the availability of object, to check the availability of a table in your database is known as semantic check. It can be done using semantic check. Okay, so semantics check, syntax check, these are two kinds of testings. These are two kinds of testings, you can say the criteria to check the query whatever you are looking for. Okay, now moving to the next slide, hashing the query text. If the query passes both the syntax, okay, if the query passes both the syntax and semantics check, the next and most important task is to search for it is in the SGA or more precisely within the library cache. Now it will check whether it is available in the library cache or not. Okay, since it's not going to be memory structure, the best way to search within the memory would be via the hashing mechanism. So Oracle database takes the input of the query text and uses that to generate the hash value of the query. First, it will be checked by syntax check, then semantic check. After that, it will see whether this information, whether this query processing information is available in the temporary memory of our computer or library cache. If it is there, then it will run the query and it will show you the result. Okay, so the Oracle, you have heard the word Oracle. Oracle is a kind of SQL based database that takes the input of the query text and uses that to generate the hash value for the query. So this is the way in which we can go for the hard parsing. Hard parsing includes 3 steps: syntax check, semantics check, and hashing the query text. Your query text, whatever the query you have written, if it is available in the temporary memory or not. This is known as hashing the query text. After following these 3 steps, you can run the hard parsing and you will get the desired result. You will get the desired query from that database. These are some MCQs related to today's lecture. You can have these MCQs on your LMS. You have to attempt these MCQs on LMS related to today's you can say today's lecture. Okay, these are lectures. This is the lecture which is based on the structured query language parsing, and these are the MCQs, multiple choice questions related to today's lecture. You need to attempt these MCQs on your LMS. Thank you very much for today's lecture.